Now we are going to start with another unit, that is the nutrition in animals. So before we start, we should know that what is nutrition. See, nutrition is a process of intake of food. That means we eat food, right, to produce energy. And what does this energy do? It is required for carrying out metabolic activities of body. So this is what is a nutrition. See, so what is nutrition? It is a process of intake of food, that means to take in food in order to produce energy, so that we can get energy which is required for metabolic activities of the body. Now a question comes, what do we mean by metabolic activities? As I mentioned a term here, so I want that you should be familiar with it too. So metabolic activities are all the activities which are occurring in the body, which are mainly the two. One is catabolic, other is anabolic. Catabolic activities involve all those activities which involves a breakdown processes. So all the activities which involve all the activities which are occurring in a body that involve the breakdown of anything are just termed as catabolic activities. And the one which is involved in synthesizing anything is called as anabolic. So both the processes, whether the catabolic or the anabolic, they need energy, and from where we get this energy? We get it from the food we eat. So this is what is a nutrition. So nutrition is a process of intake of food to produce energy required for catabolic and anabolic process, or we can say required for metabolic activities of the body. So this is what is a nutrition. So what actually is there in food which provide us nutrition? They are nutrients. We have nutrients present in food which provide nutrition. So we can say that nutrients are energy rich substances. They are energy rich substances like carbohydrates, we have fats, we have proteins, we have vitamins, we have minerals, and even you know that roughage is very important, though it doesn't provide any energy, but still it is very important in a diet that we will be discussing, that what is the function for it. But otherwise our diet consists of carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins, minerals, and also include a roughage. So these all substances just provide us energy, as they are energy rich substances. So that is the reason that we eat food, so that we can get these substances and we get energy and we can perform the various activities of our body, that is the metabolic activities. So if we discuss about the modes of nutrition, that how an organism can get nutrition, so we have different or you can say two modes of nutrition. So out of that is an autotrophic mode, and the other is heterotrophic mode. Now what do we mean by autotrophic mode? Auto means self. See, auto means self. So autotrophic mode is a mode in which organism can prepare its own food. That means the organism is capable of making its own food by certain process, and you know that the process which is involved or which is by which organism can prepare its food is termed as photosynthesis. So this is merely a, you can say, a process by which the organism can prepare its own food. So that means the one which can prepare their own food, that means they can carry out photosynthesis, so they are called as autotrophic, that means self-making, that means they can produce food for themselves also and for others also. So that means they can prepare their own food. So what do they do actually in photosynthesis? CO2 combines with water vapor in presence of sunlight. Sunlight is very important. See, I am lighting sunlight as H nu, you may write as sunlight also, because we know that sunlight consists of energy. So in higher classes you will be knowing that we can write the energy of sunlight in the form of this H nu. But as far if you are finding it difficult, just write the sunlight. So CO2 plus water vapor in presence of sunlight, they possess a special photosynthetic pigment also, that is commonly called as chlorophyll, and they prepare in the food in the form of glucose, and as a result they liberate oxygen gas also. So this is what an autotrophic mode of nutrition involves. So if somebody asks you about autotrophic, you are going to say that autotrophic is the one in which the organism can prepare its own food by the process photosynthesis, because they have a certain kind of pigment, like I wrote chlorophyll. Other than chlorophyll we have xanthophylls, carotenoids, many pigments. So these pigments are actually capable of converting the solar energy into chemical energy of food. So that means, so that is the reason that they can prepare their own food, and the one which can prepare their own food, they are called as autotrophs. They are called as autotrophs. Example, not plants, all green plants, because all plants are not autotrophs, because those plants which do not possess any pigment, they cannot photosynthesize. Like we have insectivorous plants. Insectivorous plants are those which feed on insects. They cannot photosynthesize, like sundew, like that. We have many insectivorous plants. So that means they cannot prepare their food. So the ones which are green in color, that means they contain any photosynthetic pigment which is capable of converting the solar energy into chemical energy of food, it can just make their own food. Otherwise, apart from that, like some are autotrophs, apart from that, all rest of are heterotrophs. Heterotrophs are those organisms which can't prepare their food, which can't prepare their own food. Like us, I cannot prepare my own food. As the green plant can produce apples or something like that, I cannot do like that. The reason behind is because I am lacking a photosynthetic pigment. If I would have possessed any photosynthetic pigment, then I would be able to do photosynthesis. But as I don't have any such kind of pigment or any such kind of substance which can convert the chemical energy of solar energy of the sun into chemical energy, so that means I cannot photosynthesize. So that means I cannot prepare my food, and I depend on autotrophs directly or indirectly, or you can say directly I am eating the food produced by it, or I am just taking it indirectly. So I am just feeding on the food which is prepared by the autotrophs directly or indirectly, otherwise I am not able to prepare my own food. So that means hetero means dependent, so that means they depend upon autotrophs for nutritional requirement. So heterotrophs are those which cannot prepare their own food by photosynthesis because they don't have any such pigment. And common example we have is man. We cannot prepare our own food, and we directly or indirectly depend upon autotrophs for the nutritional requirement. Now the question comes, like, as you know that they can prepare their own food, and heterotrophs cannot prepare, the common name is heterotrophs, they cannot prepare their own food. They cannot prepare their own food. Right, we know that. So how they obtain food from autotrophs? How they obtain food from autotrophs? So there are three general methods by which they, you can say, obtain food from autotrophs. Either they act as they act as saprophytes, or they act as parasites, or they show a holozoic mode. So either of three can be there for heterotrophs. So that means they can obtain nutrition from plants by either of three methods. They can be saprophytes, they can be parasites, they can be holozoic. Now what do we mean by saprophytes? See, sapro means dead and decaying. Sapro means dead and decaying. So the organism that feed on dead and decaying organic matter. Organic matter is the matter which we obtain from plants and animals. That means the living matter. So the organism that feed on the dead and decaying organic matter is particularly called as saprophytes. The typical example or a typical saprophyte we have is a fungi. See what actually the fungus do or a fungi do. Suppose your bread gets stale. So what happens? The fungus grows on it. As you can see that it doesn't have any mouth because it is a simpler organism. So how it takes the food? It secretes certain enzymes from its body actually. It secretes certain enzymes from its body, and that enzyme is capable of converting this bread, that is the complex food, into the simple soluble solution form. simple soluble solution form, and then through general body surface this fungus absorb the nutrition, that is the simple soluble solution form nutrients from the bread. So this is how it obtains nutrition. So if somebody is going to ask you about the nutrition about fungi, you are going to say that it feeds on dead and decaying organic matter. How it grows? It secretes certain enzymes which convert complex food into simple soluble solution form, and then through general body surface it absorbs the food. So this is what is a saprophyte. Now we are going to do with the parasites. See, para means upon. Para means upon. So parasites are those organisms. Parasites are those organisms which live either on or inside the body of other organism. Inside the body of other organism. So what they do? They either live on the body of other organism or inside the body of other organism. And the organism on which in or on they live is called as host. Is called as host. For example, like we have this thing, we have E. coli bacteria in human intestine. E. coli bacteria is human intestine. So E. coli is parasite because it is obtaining nutrition from the humans, and human intestine is a, or you can say a human is a host for it. Likewise, we have lices in head sometimes. So lices are the parasite and we are the host. So this is what is a parasite, in which the organism feed in or on the body of the host and obtain the nutritional requirement. But sometimes, like as I told you, like if we talk about lices, so lices are present in head. So lices act as a parasite. They are just sucking the blood. So that means they are taking like blood is their nutrition, and but we get affected. So that means host is providing a nutrition, and in return it is being affected. We are just affected. So but sometimes a parasitism turns into a symbiotic relationship. Sometimes parasitism transforms into a symbiotic relationship. See, symbiotic relationship is again a parasitism, but in this both the partners are mutually benefited. That means, like when the lices were in head, like if I take an example of lices in head, so in that case lices is being benefited because they are sucking the blood, they are getting the nutrition, but in return we are getting affected. But in symbiotic relationship, what is there? The host and parasite both are benefited. Both are mutually benefited. They both are doing something for each other. Like the example for it is E. coli in human intestine. We have a bacteria E. coli in human intestine. This is taking nutrition from human intestine. It is taking nutrition from human intestine, but in returns it is secreting certain kind of vitamins which are required for the human body. So in that case both the partners are mutually benefited. Likewise, we have an example, lichens. You must be familiar with the term lichens. Lichens is an association of fungus with algae. It is an association of fungus with algae. So in that case algae is making a food for the fungus, and what fungus is doing in return, it is just trying to absorb the water and the minerals from the water from the soil. So the both are just benefiting and also protecting the algae also. So it is just in that like they have just you can say distributed the work among themselves, and they both are equally important as they are just serving each other. So that kind of mode is called as, like the parasitism is one in which one is benefited and the other is just harmed. But when the parasitism turns into a symbiotic relationship, it means both the partners are mutually benefited. So this is what is a parasitism. The third we have is in Holozoic mode. See, Holozoic mode is that in which organisms feed on the complex food. Organism feed on the complex food and follow 5 steps in sequence. And what are those 5 steps? Ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and last egestion. So these are the 5 steps which are being followed in the Holozoic mode. So what is ingestion? Ingestion is intake of food. Ingestion is taking of food. Digestion is converting that complex food into simple food particles. Absorbing is absorbing simple food particles by body cells. Then assimilation, cells are producing energy from it. Egestion is removal of or throwing off unwanted substance, or you can say just removal of waste. So this is in Holozoic mode, like the example is man. So what happens in the, again I am just going to tell you, Holozoic mode is that in which the organism feed on a complex food and follow 5 steps in sequence. One is taking in food, that is the ingestion. Second is the digestion, in which it is converting the complex food into simple by the action of enzymes. Third is the absorption, the food which is being digested is sent to all body cells. Fourth is assimilation, those body cells just produce energy from the food, because the reason we are taking the food is just because for the energy. So they just produce the energy, this is assimilation, and then the waste, that is the undigested food, is just thrown out, and that is called as egestion. So this is what is a basic the methods which are involved. So I think you got it, that what is the nutrition, what are metabolic activities, what are the nutrients, what are two modes, autotrophic, heterotrophic, and how the heterotrophs actually can obtain the food, that is by acting as saprophytes, parasites, Holozoic mode. So that means these are the basic you can say the terms or the basic methods which are involved in the mode of the nutrition. So this is what is a nutrition in the animals. Now